And this is Chickenfoot Podcast. My name is Judahbuddha, and that is Arthurspooner, aka Arthurspooner.
Yay!
And this is the not so live version of Chickenfoot Podcast.
Chickenfoot Podcast.
So you look like a biker, man. You got like tattoos, big old beard, muscles.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to grow this out, cut it, and then turn it up on my head. I'll be like Don King. It'd be like a red hair mohawk like this. You know what I mean? So that's what I was thinking of doing, and then because the sideburns would work perfect. You just rotate it and the sideburns are still there. Although it would have like a gap, like right here. Oh,
dude, it makes me think of, have you ever seen, what's it called? Fight Club?
Yeah.
Where they're in the subway and Brad Pitt's character, he's like, is that what a man's supposed to be? And it's like Calvin Klein, advertisement. Well, that actually sort of informs like something that happened to me, because it's like, is that what a man's supposed to be like? So I remember like the first time I had to shop for underwear, and I'm in college. And I wasn't exactly, portly, like as portly as I am now.
Yeah.
But it just makes me think of going into Walmart and just seeing this huge wall of underwear, and none of them are anything what I was looking for. I was just looking for some boxers, because the interesting thing is, like, I had always worn whitey tighties growing up. Like my dad, he still wears whitey tighties. I caught him accidentally in the bathroom the other day. I'm like, oh, they're rocking the whitey tighties, but it was
the
like
classic.
It was on. Well, it was actually on a high school tour. We went overseas. And the teacher's son went along, and he was like in his 20s, and he's like, "Oh, you're wearing whitey tighties?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Here's a pair of boxers." He like gave me, and I would wear them over my whitey tighties. Anyway,
well, it's interesting you say overseas, because when you go there, they've got all these like sexy briefs that look like Speedos. Like, who is the market for this? It's like you're expecting like a flood of Europeans to come in here and be like, you know what? I could use some really sexy ones. And then you look at it and I feel like you're dirty. Like dude, you feel like you're buying a dirty magazine.
That is exactly how I felt as a high schooler it was in college, because mom had always bought me underwear up until college, right? Like college, I like run out of underwear. I'm not going to do any laundry. I'm just going to go buy some more, right? I go to Walmart and I see a wall of these like sexy men of color, mostly, that just like ripped with like huge lumps, between their legs. And like, am I in the right aisle? Like, there was part of me that felt a little like, it was kind of like that. Am I in the porno aisle of Walmart?
You feel like you're buying an adult magazine. You go up to the aisle and you're like, oh, you're throwing in like, bag of chips and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, I've got trash bags and stuff, trying to, mute it out. People are like, wait a minute. Are you looking at this guy's bulge? I was like, no.
The last thing I wanted anybody to do was come by and look at me going to a row of like these like ethnic ripped bulgy dudes. Yeah. And so I got really uncomfortable. I'm just looking for boxers, right? Because I had been like, I'm in the world of boxers now. That one pair that dude had lent me or gave me, which is kind of gross now to think of it, and totally worn out. And I'm just looking for boxers, and like, it's all these like, banana holders and boulder holders. And I got freaked out and I just left. I didn't want to get caught in the aisle.
Yeah, the last thing you want to be seen is holding this one with, this guy, and you're like, look, this underwear is not going to make me 6'5" and black.
Maybe so.
And you're just seeing a big bulge. Somebody comes around the corner and like, look at that guy, Whitey Bulger over here. Where I feel uncomfortable because I don't fit in this aisle. I'm like, man, I need to buy
none of them have like some dude like, hey, just passing through, got some clean undies. No, it was all like, jacked dudes. That
I feel like my underwear is going to be sold in the cheese aisle. Where's the cottage cheese? Right next to it, that's where my underwear is going to be.
I gotta go to like Goodwill to get my underwear.
And mine is just going to have a picture of a guy scratching his inner thigh sitting on the couch.
Do you know how many underwear they would sell if they just did that? If they just had like a dude like me, just like sitting in his underwear, like, hey, this is what I got,
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, there you go. Like, that's not a good one. You got all these like really attractive guys. I feel like it's like when you see a guy who has a tattoo of like a pinup lady, and then his girlfriend is not as attractive as a pinup lady. She's probably like, this bastard. You know what I mean? Like you're carrying this around. You're like, maybe one day, Hanes. It's like Magic Hanes. You put it on, and then it's like. You ever see the Super Friends where Spider-Man and Iceman and Spider-Woman, and they're like, and they change into their like super human abilities? It's funny. Talking about like this underwear and stuff. It's we were talking once about how it seems like a lot of gays like warmer weather because they seem to be more comfortable with their bodies and more free with their bodies. I had a friend who I knew in seminary, Brian, who drove down to Key West one time just to kind of enjoy the beach and, enjoy the weather. And he didn't know, and I didn't know until now, that Key West is kind of like the San Francisco of the East Coast. There's huge gay population. So he parked his car. He was on the beach all day reading and stuff. And he's walking back to his car, and a group of like really built, cut guys wearing skimpy leather chaps and with no butt cheeks on it. And the guy with the no butt cheeks is leaning against his car. And so he's like, what? He's intimidated because these are huge guys. And the other one is like, this guy's bare butt is basically touching his doorknob. You know what I mean? Like, no, he's like, I never thought some bare bottom guy is going to be all over my knob. So, I had a discussion when you were talking earlier about like the manliness, your image of manliness.
Yeah.
I had a discussion with a mutual friend of ours, Maggie, before she was married. This is years and years ago. Her and I used to live in the same building, if you remember.
Yeah, she's a good conversationalist. I had a lot of good conversations with her too.
And we were both doing online dating. And she was going out with guys. This is, of course, before she met her husband, who she fell in love with and has 2 kids and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so she met some guy online, and she was just telling me about him. And she's like, oh, he plays an instrument. And I was like, yeah, what instrument? And in my mind, I'm thinking like piano or violin or probably guitar, really. She said the ukulele. I was like, what? The ukulele? That's not an instrument. That's a toy. I've never played the ukulele, but I'm pretty sure the first time I pick it up, I'll be proficient. You know what I mean? I could take a ukulele and throw it down the stairwell, and it will sound just as good as somebody who's just playing the ukulele. So, like, that is not an instrument. And how is that something that you want to, like, put out there? That's like, I'm good at the kazoo and the jug. You know what I mean? Like, why is that, like, something... I don't know. That, to me, is, like, one of those kind of embarrassing things that guys do that isn't like really manly, and they kind of keep it to themselves, and that's like kind of like, oh, it's cute, he does this.
Or the kids do, and you're impressed by it, right? Like a kid can do it, and you're like impressed by it, but like a grown man, like,
yeah, I mean,
you need to be a step above that, buddy.
Really, I think the guy who invented it probably was learning the guitar, and he thought it was pretty good, and then some other guy was better, and he's like, that bastard, and he's like, you know what? He might be good at the guitar, but I'm good at the little guitar. You know what I mean? And so that, or the guy was short and the guitar made him look like a little kid. He's like peeking over the top. And so he's like, you know what? I'm going to like balance it out and make me look bigger.
Well, it's not even as many strings. Like a normal guitar has 6 strings. Ukulele has 4. It's like not even, you don't even get the first 2 strings.
Yeah, I'm not even sure they're strings. They might be hairs. So you just take your hair, you like, boop, and then you're ringing in, and you're like, boop, boop.
That's a good one. Yeah, well, what's funny is that my dad's whole what do you call it? Music career came along because of playing ukulele, but he played ukulele as a little kid. Yeah. He would play ukulele like in front of he was like 6 years old, and he'd play ukulele and people would just gather around and see him play. But he graduated to the guitar eventually, like when he was like 8.
Yeah. Well, you ever see those Fisher-Price plastic instruments?
That's a ukulele.
Like, yeah, that basically, when I saw a ukulele, I thought it was like, oh, this is an expensive Fisher-Price toy.
But do you remember, we have a video, we need to share the video where me and you did a interview with people on the street, and there was like a whole ukulele convention.
Yeah. We were, there was in the park, and this was long before the pandemic. This is when we were actually, I had this conversation with Maggie, we were walking through the park, and there was like tons of people who learned the ukulele, and they're going to break the record. And I think the record was how many losers are in one spot. The record is how many untalented people can pretend like they're talented in one spot. And I don't even think Guinness was like, you know what, that's not even worth I mean,
we had that one couple that came though, and they played Salt and Pepper, remember?
Yeah. And so that Guinness World Record is going to sit next to the world record for the guy who can play the guitar. So they're going to be like, you want to see something amazing? We've got like 1,000 people like playing the ukulele. You want to see something even more amazing? This guy can play the guitar. He's pretty good. So, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on with the ukulele? I don't think that that's something that you put on your dating profile. That's not going to pull women in,
Yeah, I mean, typically you don't want, like as a male, you don't want to be like, that large scale thing that everybody else plays? I play the smaller one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this idea that women don't care about the size of your guitar, that's a lie. They know. Playing Metallica on a ukulele is definitely going to sound a lot different than playing Metallica on a guitar. All right? So you're not going to be hardcore with the ukulele. Nobody sees you in a bike club with a ukulele. You might be in a tricycle club with a ukulele, but you're not going to be a biker in a bike club.
Right? Yeah.
So, well, you know what? This has been great talking to you. It reminds me of this one time.
Hey, so that was...
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, okay. So they still see us?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all 0 viewers. Dude, look at that beard. It's gotten even bigger.
Well, I'm kind of looking down, so it's kind of squinched.
So, what'd you think watching it? Watching it secondhand. We both watched it live.
You know, it's funny because the part that I thought was funnier wasn't as funny as the part that I thought wasn't as funny. So I thought the first half was funnier when we did it.
Yeah.
And then the ukulele stuff. But then watching it, I like the ukulele stuff. One thing I felt like I was doing was I felt like I was interrupting you on the first one, and then I was rambling on the too long.
I felt like I was interrupting you on the second one.
That's funny.
Well, so what should we change for next week? Anything? Any ideas?
I think what we need to do is give each other some berth, some room to kind of flesh it out, and then learn our back and forth.
Okay.
Instead of we jumping in, and then but then at the same time, we gotta, because I ramble too. So not letting it go so far to where I'm rambling all the time.
I don't think it feels like rambling as much though, because it's only 15 minutes. So it's like it keeps us chop. Yeah. I like that 15-minute thing.
Yeah. I thought we did pretty good. I have a few more bits. So next week, like we said, we're not going to share it with each other. We're just going to kind of try to riff on it. And
okay.
I thought we did pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, for anybody who is watching right now or later, whatever time zone you may be in, give us a comment. What do you think of the new format? What do you think of the new way we're doing things? It may not be different to you. Just say not different, lame, or something in the comment section. Yeah. The other thing